Early this morning, a headline crossed my screen that made me stop, reread, and then sit back for a second. We're talking about a breaking Supreme Court decision, a rare 9-0 ruling, unanimous, no debate left inside the courtroom, and the shockwaves from that decision are already forcing 15 states to change their concealed carry laws. And the real question for you watching right now is simple but serious. Are you in one of those states? And do you even know what just changed? Because what was legal yesterday may not look the same today. And what felt protected before may now come with new rules, new enforcement, and new consequences. Let me start with a story that happened just hours ago, on January 19th, 2026, which illustrates perfectly why this ruling is more than just legal jargon. Early this morning, before most people had finished their coffee, a single mother in Ohio named Karen walked into her local permit office to renew her concealed carry permit before heading to work. Karen had done everything by the book for years: background checks, training, renewal paperwork. She followed every law meticulously. But this morning, she encountered a reality most Americans are only just beginning to understand. The clerk at the counter paused, looked at her screen, and said something she never expected. Due to the Supreme Court's new ruling, the state is updating enforcement rules. Karen froze, confused, unsure if she had done something wrong. She asked for clarification, and the response she got was almost as shocking as the ruling itself. No one could explain the details yet. The office staff themselves were trying to interpret the decision in real time. Karen later posted online, "I followed the law for years, and suddenly the rules are different." Her post went viral within hours, and her story became the face of what is now a national conversation, because she is not alone. Across these 15 states, ordinary citizens woke up today to discover that the legal landscape they depended on has shifted overnight. This is the power and the weight of a Supreme Court 9-0 decision. Most rulings are split, contentious, and debated. 5-4, 6-3, arguments stretching over months. But this was unanimous. Every justice, regardless of ideology, agreed that the current framework needed to change. That kind of unity sends a clear message to states. Compliance is not optional. Enforcement rules must adjust immediately. That's why we are seeing rapid movement in state legislatures, police departments, and permit offices. Officers are being retrained, new enforcement memos are being circulated, and the procedures for carrying and checking permits are being rewritten as we speak. For everyday Americans, this translates into questions, confusion, and, in some cases, real anxiety. Karen's story is a perfect example. She did nothing wrong, yet she found herself unsure whether she could carry legally that day. That hesitation is spreading across the country, especially in the states directly impacted by the ruling. What makes this ruling even more critical is that it doesn't just touch the Second Amendment. The Supreme Court also addressed elements of the Fourth Amendment in this decision, reshaping how law enforcement interacts with concealed carry holders. This combination, the right to bear arms and the limits on searches and seizures, is exactly what is forcing states to rethink their rules. Some states are tightening procedures, some are redefining where and how you can carry, some are changing how officers conduct stops and verify permits, and others are completely overhauling permit recognition systems. All of this is happening as of January 19th, 2026, and that means anyone who carries legally needs to pay attention immediately. Ignorance is no longer a buffer. Knowledge is your safeguard. This morning, the impact was already visible in offices, online forums, and even social media feeds. People are asking urgent questions. Can I still carry in my state? Do I need new documentation? Does this affect permitless carry? What happens if I get stopped by the police now? These are not political questions. They are practical, real-life concerns affecting commuters, delivery drivers, parents, veterans, and retirees. Every time someone like Karen walks into a government office expecting a routine renewal and leaves uncertain, it illustrates the real-life implications of a Supreme Court decision. The legal language may be precise, but its effects are deeply human. Some people are understandably worried that their rights have been taken away. That is not exactly the case. In some ways, this ruling strengthens constitutional standards, providing clarity and guidance where ambiguity existed. In other ways, It gives states more defined authority to regulate and enforce concealed carry laws in accordance with searches and stops. The net result is that rights still exist, but the mechanisms of enforcement, verification, and application are shifting. What this means is simple but profound. Your daily practices, your understanding of where you can carry, and how law enforcement interacts with you may be different starting January 19th, 2026. And anyone who ignores these changes risks facing penalties despite acting in good faith. The Supreme Court ruling also triggered a surge in activity across the 15 affected states. Gun stores reported long lines as citizens sought clarification. Some people went to offices multiple times to ensure their permits would remain valid. Lawmakers convened emergency meetings to draft immediate updates. Police departments issued internal memos, reminding officers to follow newly clarified rules. And social media exploded with posts from concerned citizens, sharing confusion and seeking answers. Karen's story became a touchstone, showing just how fast ordinary people could be affected, how quickly the legal ground shifted under their feet, and how vital it is to remain informed in real time. Across America, there are similar stories unfolding today. A Texas driver was pulled over for a minor traffic violation and realized during the stop that officers were being instructed differently under the new ruling. A Florida gun store owner reported unprecedented phone calls and emails, asking whether existing permits would still be valid. Universities in Georgia sent emergency emails updating campus guidance to reflect the new legal standards. Families across Nevada debated what the ruling meant for daily life, with parents concerned about safety and legality. Even police departments in Michigan quietly circulated updated internal guidelines to adapt to the Supreme Court's decision. These examples are not hypothetical. They are real, unfolding on January 19th, 2026, and they show how the ruling is impacting ordinary Americans immediately. It's important to recognize why this ruling happened. The Supreme Court found that the previous legal framework was inconsistent and unclear, leaving both law-abiding citizens and law enforcement uncertain about rights, responsibilities, and limitations. By issuing a 9-0 decision, the court effectively told every state, you must clarify your rules, and you must do so quickly. That clarity, however, looks different in each state depending on their existing statutes, culture, and enforcement practices. This is why, as of today, we are seeing 15 states actively rewriting or adjusting their concealed carry frameworks. Some states are expanding rights, some are limiting where guns can be carried, and some are altering enforcement procedures to comply with constitutional requirements. For the individual citizen, this means the rules you have relied upon for years may now be in flux. The Supreme Court's decision also highlights a reality most people underestimate. Constitutional changes are not abstract. They are lived experiences. Karen's experience in Ohio is an example. She wasn't breaking the law. She wasn't engaging in risky behavior. Yet the moment she stepped into a government office, she confronted the real-life consequences of a court ruling. Overnight, the law shifted, and with it, the confidence and clarity that citizens rely on every day. Millions of Americans who carry legally face the same uncertainty now, and for some, the change could have immediate consequences if they are not aware and proactive. As of this morning, online discussions and social media platforms are flooded with similar experiences. Permit holders are asking questions about enforcement, cross-state recognition, traffic stops, and even training requirements. Officers are sharing updates and confusion within internal forums. Citizens are trying to interpret vague notices from their local offices. In short, the ruling has created a wave of urgent awareness that cannot be ignored. If you carry legally, your first step is to understand exactly how your state is responding. Check your state government websites, consult official guidance, and make sure you know how the new rules apply to you. For many, this ruling also raises deeper questions about trust and certainty. Citizens trust that when they follow the law, they are protected. That trust has been tested today. Karen trusted the system for years. On January 19th, 2026, that trust transformed into uncertainty in the span of 5 minutes at a government counter. And she is not alone. Across the 15 states affected, millions are waking up to the reality that legal certainty is no longer guaranteed without constant vigilance. This ruling doesn't just affect the law. It affects peace of mind, daily routines, and the confidence people have in their rights and protections. So what should citizens do right now? The first and most important step is awareness. Check your state's official statements and updates. Know whether your state is one of the 15 changing rules today. Verify your permit status. Confirm where you can and cannot carry legally. Review any updated training requirements or procedural changes. And if you are unsure, seek official clarification. Don't rely solely on news summaries or social media posts, as this is a rapidly evolving situation. Ignorance is not a defense, but informed action can protect you from unintended legal consequences. This Supreme Court ruling is historic not only because of its unanimous nature, but also because of the immediate, tangible effects it is having on the lives of everyday Americans. It's being lived in Ohio offices, Texas traffic stops, Florida gun stores, Georgia campuses, Nevada kitchens, and Michigan police departments. And it is a stark reminder that Supreme Court decisions are not theoretical. They're active, they are real, and they ripple through society faster than most citizens realize. As this story unfolds, remember Karen's experience. She did everything by the book. She trusted the system. And yet, on January 19th, 2026, she confronted a sudden shift in the law that left her uncertain and anxious. Millions of Americans are now in the same position, facing questions about their rights, their responsibilities, and the new rules that govern how they can carry. This is a moment to pay attention, to seek clarity, and to act responsibly, because the legal landscape has changed, and the time to respond is now. The Supreme Court's 9-0 decision will be studied for decades, but today, it is being experienced. It is being debated, questioned, and lived by ordinary citizens like Karen, whose story is a reminder that law is not just written in books. It is lived in offices, streets, and homes across America. If you carry, if you own a permit, if you value your constitutional rights, this is the moment to take stock, understand the changes, and ensure that your actions remain lawful under the new guidance issued on January 19th, 2026. What happens next will define the practical landscape of concealed carry in the United States, and your awareness today is the first step in navigating it safely.